Yeah, I think we're just focused on ourselves. You prepare every single night. I think that's the great thing about this league. And also, you play and then you have a day and then you play again, and then you have a day and you play again. You have to be able to flush things really fast. You can't get too high, you can't get too low. You just got to stay right in the middle. So that's going to be the challenge for our group. Build from it, appreciate how we came out here and really played and competed tonight. But also, I felt like, I know we put up 93 points and still won by 30, but I felt like there was a lot of ways for us to still improve. And that's what's exciting too. And I think everybody's still hungry to go back to work and get better.
The WNBA just dropped a bombshell. Angel Reese, the rising star who brought raw energy, elite rebounding, and unapologetic confidence into the league, is now at the center of a league-wide investigation. Why? Because fans allegedly hurled racist, hateful comments at her during the Chicago Sky's opener against Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever. And now, the Chicago Sky's head coach Tyler Marsh is speaking out. And his words, along with this entire situation, are painting a picture of a league trying to grow while still dealing with the ugliest parts of sports culture. This isn't just about one player, it's about the safety, the respect, and the future of every WNBA athlete. Let's rewind. Saturday's season opener between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky was supposed to be about hoops. Two of the most anticipated rookies, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, finally sharing the floor at the pro level. A sold-out Gainbridge Fieldhouse, a nationally discussed game, and yet what could have been a celebration of talent and rivalry quickly got tainted by something much darker. Midway through the third quarter, things got physical. Clark slapped down hard on Reese's arm, knocking her to the ground. It was a hard foul, no flagrant was called. Reese popped back up to confront Clark, and it got heated. Aaliyah Boston stepped in between them. Clark walked away.
Today, the WNBA is investigating alleged racial comments that were directed at WNBA player Angel Reese by fans yesterday at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Actually, that game was on Sunday. The Players Union says it supports on Saturday, rather.
Standard WNBA physicality, right? But that's not where the controversy exploded. Shortly after the game, reports started flooding in, claims that Angel Reese had been targeted by racist comments from fans during the game. Online witnesses started sharing their experiences, comments that crossed every line of decency, hate, not heckling. And just like that, the WNBA had a situation that couldn't be ignored. The WNBA quickly issued a statement saying they were investigating the incident and that racism, hate, and discrimination have no place in our league or in society. They didn't dance around it. The words were strong, but words are only the start. What comes next is what matters because, let's be clear, this league is growing fast. New fans are coming in, more attention than ever. But with growth comes exposure, and sometimes that includes the ugly truths of who gets protected and who doesn't. Angel Reese didn't ask for this moment. She came to compete. She came to make a name for herself, and instead, she had to deal with racial abuse in a supposedly professional space. That's unacceptable. And now, the question on everyone's mind is, will the league actually hold fans accountable? Or will this be another situation that disappears once the headlines fade? Angel Reese finally broke her silence. And when she did, she didn't come at it with rage or theatrics. She came with quiet power and clarity that cut deeper than any viral quote could. Her words weren't loud, but they were heavy, and they carried a message the whole world needed to hear. "There's no place in our league for that," she said, in response to the racist, hateful comments reportedly directed at her during the Chicago Sky's season opener against the Indiana Fever. But what followed was the line that hit the hardest. "If it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone." That's not just a quote, that's a truth bomb. Reese is one of the most recognizable faces in women's basketball right now. A national champion, a top draft pick, a rookie with the swagger, the stats, and the star power to shift culture. If hate like this can land on her during a nationally spotlighted game in a league that's trying to grow, then no one's safe. She shouldn't have to deal with this, not in her workplace, not on that stage.
We watch a lot of basketball. It's a take foul to put them at the free throw line or rather give up 2 points. I've watched a lot of basketball in my life. That's exactly what it was. I wasn't trying to do anything malicious. That's not the type of player I am. So, this wasn't anything like that. And I went for the ball, and that's clear as day in the replay. You watch it. It shouldn't have been upgraded, but again, that's up to the ref's discretion.
Not when she's out there putting in the work and representing the league with fire and confidence. The idea that she was targeted in 2025 in a pro sports arena because of who she is and how she plays is a slap in the face to everything this league claims to stand for. Reese's reaction was powerful because it wasn't defensive. She didn't try to escalate or drag anyone. She stood up and calmly laid out the bigger picture. It's not just about what she experienced, it's about how that experience reflects what others are likely going through without the media attention. It's a reminder that the cameras don't always catch it all, and that even in a league that talks about inclusivity and unity, racism can still sneak in. Through the seats, through the taunts, through the silence. She didn't ask for sympathy, she didn't demand vengeance, she just told the truth. And that truth should have every executive, every arena manager, and every so-called fan reevaluating their place in this game. If this can happen to Angel Reese, then who's really protected? What's really being done to make these arenas safe spaces? What happens the next time someone crosses the line and it's not caught on video or called out online? Reese showed maturity beyond her years, but that doesn't make the hate acceptable. It makes it more tragic. She's already having to deal with being the villain in narratives she didn't write. She's already being judged harder, criticized more harshly, and scrutinized for every move on the court. Add racism to the mix, and it's not just basketball anymore. It's survival in a space that still isn't fully ready to embrace her success, her style, or her voice. She showed grace, but she should never have had to. And that's the painful truth that her quote forced everyone to face. When Chicago Sky head coach Tyler Marsh finally addressed the investigation and the abuse allegations against Angel Reese.
Angel, can you take us through the flagrant foul from your perspective? Just what you saw in that play, how you interpreted what happened.
Basketball play, refs got it right. Move on.
The basketball world tuned in. What was he going to say? Would he bring the heat? Would he back his player with passion? The answer? Not exactly. His words were careful, composed, and to some, way too safe. "We found out when everyone else did," he said, before adding that the team is cooperating with the league's investigation. And just like that, the fire everyone hoped for never came. No one is saying Marsh doesn't care. He clearly respects the process. He clearly wants the league to handle things right. But in this moment, when your player has been publicly targeted, when the conversation is about racism, abuse, and safety, professionalism isn't enough. What this situation called for wasn't just compliance.
I think we're still finding our chemistry together. It doesn't feel perfect out there yet. I think we're still continuing to grow when we don't have things in transition. How can we flow a little bit better? How can we set our teammates up for success in the half court? But I mean, we just have so many weapons, and that's what's so fun. It's like you swing it to the other side, okay? Like you got DB, you got Kels. On the other side, you got Tosh, you got AB. Like there's just so many options for us to go to, and I think just continuing to learn how to put our teammates in positions to be successful is what's really going to make us a great team.
It called for rage, for urgency, for a declaration that what happened is unacceptable and will never be tolerated again, not under his watch. Fans weren't looking for a press release. They were looking for a leader. Someone who steps up and makes it clear that the Chicago Sky protect their players. Someone who says loudly and without hesitation that hate has no home in their arena. That anyone who thinks otherwise better not show up again. That's what this moment demanded. And Marsh, for all his poise and intelligence, missed it. His response felt more like a briefing than a stand. And while it's understandable, he's new, he's learning, he's navigating media pressure, the fact is the silence said more than the words did. Angel Reese needed a public show of force from the bench, not just behind closed doors, not just in the locker room, but out front, with cameras rolling and headlines watching. Because if a coach won't defend their player when the world is watching, what happens when it's not? This was a chance to make a statement to the league, to the fans, to the racists in the crowd who think they can throw venom without consequences. And that chance was passed up. The conversation isn't just about one incident anymore. It's about what kind of leadership the WNBA really has. Are we protecting our athletes? Are we empowering coaches to speak up? Are we giving them the tools and the freedom to go beyond generic PR lines when the moment calls for something real? Marsh may grow into that leader, But in this moment, the league didn't just need compliance. It needed a voice with fire. And the silence? It echoed louder than anything he said. This isn't just a social media moment. This is a test. A fork in the road situation for the WNBA. The league has positioned itself as progressive, inclusive, and forward-thinking. And now, it's time to prove that those values aren't just branding, they're policy. Because what happens next will define more than the season. It will define what kind of league this truly is and who it's really for.
With these attention-seeking strategies all ending in huge embarrassing failure, perhaps Angel Reese thought the best way to satisfy her unending desire to be validated was to win pretend basketball games in the WNBA. But the problem with this strategy, Angel Reese is not an impact player.
If the WNBA sweeps this under the rug, if they issue vague findings or delay long enough for people to forget, the damage won't just be to Angel Reese, it will be to every player of color who's ever stepped into an arena and wondered if the cheers would turn to slurs. It will tell fans that accountability only exists when it's convenient. It will show that growth, hype, and profit matter more than protection, justice, or truth. What the league must do is simple. Act. Swiftly, publicly, permanently. Anyone found to have hurled racist abuse at a player needs to be banned. Not for a season. For life. No more slap-on-the-wrist fines. No more letting bad fans hide behind anonymity. This isn't about overreacting, it's about setting a standard that says the WNBA isn't just here to entertain, it's here to stand for something. Something real, because let's be honest, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and the entire new wave of WNBA stars are bringing attention to this league at a scale it's never seen. But attention means scrutiny. It means responsibility. And the same energy that's going into marketing these athletes needs to go into protecting them. This is the line in the sand. Will the WNBA show it's ready to rise, not just in ratings, but in integrity? Or will it show that when the headlines fade, so does the urgency to do what's right? The players are watching, the fans are watching, and Angel Reese deserves more than statements. She deserves justice. So to all the women building this league from the ground up, this isn't just about what happened. It's about what happens next, and the clock is ticking.